So I tried to quote Karl Marx. The spectre is found in Europe. It's a spectre of 43. Since we have it since 2003, I looked it up in the old forum. The number 43 was reserved for dreaming of a future super 42. And quite regular visitors of the museum forum know there are several vaporware designs, and the whole idea suffered from a lack of a suitable platform. And despite our wishes, HP did never launch something like that. But they launched the 20B, and the 20B turned out to be the first HP which made repurposing possible, thanks to Cyril. And so I got a message from Pauli, and he asked me whether I could join him in creating something which turned out to be the 34S. Yeah, that's what we did between 2008 and 2011. We took this thing, because it turned out to be better than the 20B. The 30B has a click and rotate keys. And we turned it into a 34S, or later on into a 31S. Yeah, but, well, as usual, there are some wishes remaining. Yeah. Despite we put everything in we knew. So we have the function sets of the 42S, of the 16C and the 32S too. But I complained very often about this. The LCD is simply, suboptimal, to be polite. Huh? So we couldn't implement any soft keys. We couldn't implement any true menus like the 42 featured. We have a very, very limited dual line display, because we just have those 42 columns of pixels on top. We have thus limited text output, and further on HP stopped production of those nice little devices. So we won't get any supply of it anymore. So we had to look for something else, and we decided to make it in one step from the 34S to the 43S. What do we want? We want at least what we have got already, and we want to keep full pocketability. So nothing in the battleship class. Yeah? Plus, we want a state-of-the-art display. We want to have soft keys. A standard USB interface. Right now, with the 34S, we have only a USB interface with Harald's board. And we want to have real keys, no more stickers. And something else. So, alas, for quite a long time, we hoped for the reptiles. In fact, we did until 2015, because Eric Smith was showing something actually with the same display like we have right now, but with a Mylar case. And he kept showing it every HHC after the other, but he never proceeded. And in fact, I got very bad complaints from the museum forum, because I was always complaining about it. He didn't proceed. But luckily, even Jake Schwartz did a final call at the HHC 2015 and he said we want our 43S, but still Eric Smith was sticking with the Mylar case, and well. So in 2016 we saw the dawn of DM42, and we were very happy about this, and immediately contacted Michael, and well, we had quite an exchange of very early drawings, and after a while I got my beta DM42, and this was sufficient to test the display. So, and you even see it on my DM42, which is still a beta. I can test all the fonts and displays. The fonts and displays I want to have on the 43. Yeah? So I can see it's really readable and it's looking well properly. Yeah? This is just done by the off image. Yeah? So don't switch it on. So, yeah. And then, well, if you want to know what I did in the meantime, I did a lot of layouts. Starting with this.
All the same.
Yeah.
Little changes.
Everything a little change, you won't see it, you just have to focus on one. And so I think that's about it, almost. Yeah. Come on. No? Okay, that's the last one, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last one, like it's laid out now.
Plus minus is at the wrong position. The four arithmetic keys has to change.
Well, that's a very long discussion. You probably know. We may talk about everything, but later on, after Martin has taken his part. It might change once more. I just have a change in, but well, at this point it's easily done. And yeah, 2017 we finally found a software guy. You can't imagine how hard it is to find a software guy on a world of 7.5 billion people. Yeah? Finally we found one. This is WordDisk, and that was the first which came out of it, something like a draft of a simulator. And the simulator, like it's looking now on my screen, because I have a very limited resolution, I have to take a landscape view on the simulator, is looking like this. So you have all the keys and stuff, and you have a real display with the same resolution, which actually gives the size of the thing. And so that's the state right now, and I would hand over to Martin, and we will continue here later on. So you need your PC,
Yeah.
and this one.
No, you do not fit. You have to move.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's lost on the bottom. You can put it in that one.
Okay, so jetzt müsstest du mal noch gucken, dass du da hinkommst. Jo.
So, we French people are known to not be very good at foreign languages. especially English. And I think I'm not an exception to that rule. So I will try to explain what I have to say in English, but when I have difficulties,
We'll try to.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I developed this simulator and not an emulator since December last year. I must, ja, auf Deutsch, also ich habe ungefähr einen Monat gebraucht, um Ja zu sagen und das anzufangen.
It took him 1 month to come to a decision whether he should.
I read Walter's documentation, 500 pages, and that was, I think, okay, very, very dense reading and very much things to do. To end with this emulator, and I think I am 25% is done, not more. I programmed that in C, and for now the program is 55,000 lines of code. So, what is done so far? I implemented the real data type, big integer, the square over here,
Next to square root.
square, square, and square, and square, up to 5096 bits long for now. Maybe we can make it longer or not.
Depends on the users.
Yeah. We have a complex type also. We can change the
coordinate system from rectangular to polar.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's here, menu, mode, polar, halt here. Polar mode, rectangular mode. In polar mode, when we changed the angular mode, the display changed too.
Well, some basics about the display. That's the status bar, where you can see the actual date and time, where you can see that we are talking about complex stuff now, so the display or the calculator allows for complex results, also if you put in real numbers only. So we are in polar. When you change to rectangular, can you do it, please? Yeah, so you get a rectangular sign here. That's the degrees or rads or grad or multiples of pi. And then we have something for fractions, we may show later.
Fractions.
And we have something for finite integers, since we implemented all the functionality of the 16C. And that's just indicating we are at the top of the program space. Yeah, that's about fractions. We have proper fractions and improper fractions.
Yeah, no. So,
Is the number system the same as in the WP34?
Yes.
yeah.
So
The same
it is-
library.
But we will have data types here. So we have we have reals, complex, infinite integers and finite integers, and matrices and alpha strings. I think that's about it. So more like the 42S.
That you can take the 34S number system as
Yes.
a basis. It's integrated here.
Yeah.
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 I copied many functions from Pauli, from the 34S for the mathematical functions.
Of course.
But the 34S didn't support data types.
Okay.
That was one drawback because we didn't have the space. So we couldn't. We had a very tedious matrix support. Yeah? We had to project it onto several registers. But right now we have one register per object. So we may put one matrix in one register.
And does Pauli also help and support this project?
Mainly him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did read the early stages of the manual, but right now he supported Martin software-wise.
Was the previous one made? You said that you're writing this in C.
Yeah.
Was the previous version was written in C also?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you took from the one that was there, and then you're improving on it,
Uh,
or redeveloping, or
No, I improved nothing on the mathematical functions. I simply copied it.
okay. So you import what you can, and then
Yeah.
you rewrite if you need
Yeah.
to rewrite. Okay.
Yeah. The reason is Markus hasn't any time anymore, and so that was the reason why we had to look for some software guy. Else we would have taken Markus. But last time when we wrote the 34S, Markus, he's in fact a freelancer, and he didn't have too many projects at that time. Pauli was on the move from one job to the other, and I was on the move from one job to the other as well. So we had plenty of spare time, and we could devote it to the 34S. But right now, I will retire by the end of the year. But until then, yeah. So, and Markus has a lot to do, and Pauli is in a fixed position again, and that's the reason.
So we have here this soft menu system.
Yeah, as announced previously, we have up to 18 menu items per view. So we have unshifted soft keys, we have F shifted, and we have G shifted soft keys. So what Angel was telling us about bringing the 41 to big menus, that's easier here. Yeah?
Yeah, that is very good.
Yeah, and when you press one of those
Yeah.
keys, you go to the next view, which is only 6 right now, and then it cycles back.
Here.
It depends how many views are in one menu. Yeah. So that's
The black ones are submenus.
yeah. The inverted ones are submenus. So that's for unit conversion. This menu, that's here. This one.
This one.
Yeah. And you see we have, for temperature we only need those 2 keys. For time we only need 2 keys, but then for force and pressure we have something more, yeah, like this one.
I'll just be really picky and say for temperature you do need more than 2 because you need absolute and differential.
Well, that's even I do it by heart. Yeah. 273.15.
No. I mean, from if you an increase in temperature
Real,
is not
real.
the same
An,
as
an
absolute
increase in temperature
temperature.
is in Kelvin exactly the same like in Celsius. One different delta T in temperature, it's exactly the same. Believe me, I'm a physicist.
Normally temperature difference is
I
always
realise that. It's just so there was the bug in the
Nothing
48, wasn't it? If you took a temperature in Celsius and added 5 Fahrenheit, it converted 5 Fahrenheit to an absolute
Well,
centigrade and added that, and that's
That's,
not
a, that's
what you want to
nothing
do.
more than
So,
the just
yeah.
punishment for those people still using Fahrenheit. So
Fair enough, yeah.
basically, the unit conversion menu is just to support the people in the US and similar strange countries, which still don't want to go to SI for
I can't
whatever
think
reason.
What country you mean, because we've
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. Well, they promised to change to SI decades ago, but they didn't do it. Anyway, when you go to this menu, you find conversions from and to SI, to anything strange which we met. So you even find stones and
Yes.
yeah, fluid ounces or something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use them, but they're there. The only thing old-fashioned we kept is pints for beer, because that's the only thing people. Really
Yeah,
worry about.
we
The
don't
rest
have
of it
we
is
don't
all
have
liters
pints and
and-
quarts yet,
Okay.
but that may easily change.
Wie heißt das halbe Bier in der Schweiz? Wie heißt das halbe Bier in der Schweiz?
Solche Stange.
Eine Stange.
Ja, das ist
drei.
bei Kölsch ja auch. Ja. Okay, so we have short tons and even longer tons, and well, and some, of course, you know me. So in the manual are some nasty comments about such units. Yeah? Anyway, we've got it supported.
Yeah, the dotted line denotes that there is
There's
another
another view.
page.
Yeah, we call such thing a view, a menu view. It's containing up to 18 items, but here it's only 6 or 4 items in this case, because we need extra display space for the short tons. But here you see we've got 12.
So in that case, when you have the double lines, it's either F or G that's gonna use that
Yeah.
word?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's only software. Yeah, but okay, it's meant this way. Yeah? Okay, but that was just an expedition to units.
A little demonstration of finite integers.
Yeah, that's,
So how much ROM do you have left on the old ROM is full, life is short? Are you near to filling it, or is there masses left?
well,
to leave?
we are very
What
confident.
will you say?
For the time being, we are very confident that we will get all the ROM we need. Yeah, well, but it's a lot more than it was in the 30B. Yeah.
I was just wondering whether you could put an equation solver mode in the way the 32 has it, so there's an algebraic equation. So
Yeah.
as well as the programmatic one from the 42.
Yeah,
It's very useful for little simple things.
within the manual, there are several opportunities where I claim this is limited by memory. So I don't know yet, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
But it's limited by available memory. Sorry, and we have to find out when we migrate the code from the PC to the real thing.
I don't think it's really a problem because now The program is how much? Wo ist das? If I remember right, it's about 2 megabytes, but it includes all the GUI for Windows and so on, and test functions and so on. So I think it's about 1 MB for now.
Okay.
So you were saying microcontroller. I don't remember. I have look into the software development kit of the 42, but it's using a microcontroller for ARM, and it's 2 megabyte maximum that you have.
That's
No, 8 I think. No.
8 megabytes.
8. Yeah.
The current CPU in the DM42 has 1 megabyte flash and 128K RAM. But there is a newer chip with 2 megabyte flash.
Yeah, that's what normally microcontrollers has. Even 2 megabyte is pretty new. Normally, maximum you have, the biggest one was 1 megabyte.
Yeah, no, the new one has 2 megabyte flash and
256.
220K.
Still 128K. You had also one with 256K of RAM, but okay, 120K of RAM. So right now, 1 megabyte of flash, 2. Yeah. So you have one, gonna have 2, so 2 will be maximum.
But there is also some memory on an extra chip.
No.
No,
The
no.
CPU itself, it has 320K RAM.
The goal of
Okay.
microcontroller is to have everything in one chip. So you may have external addressable memory,
Yeah.
but that's taking all the lines for I/O controls. So
Yeah.
normally, you defeat the purpose of microcontrollers to go outside. You better use a CPU at that point. So
Okay.
if you use, so you better watch out if you you have 2 megabytes maximum. So
This is a lot for this.
How
kind
big
of
is the 342 program?
I think you will have a opportunity for getting this into a 2 megabyte
Yeah.
processor.
342 must have under 1 megabyte because it's currently what they have. So
After all, we had everything pressed into 30B. So right now we feel like blessed.
for your information, you have simulator that you can use ARMs, and you can run everything on a PC that simulate the microcontroller.
Yeah.
So you could compile this, run this on a simulator right today without having the hardware. It's going to work.
Yeah.
But they have the hardware, so.
Yeah, but even
Yeah, but we didn't transfer it so far because
Not so far.
it needs some work to experience the toolkit.
Surely there are 10 more templates to go through on the keyboard as well.
Yeah, there will be. There will be.
Joking.
That was a reason of a longer discussion I had with Michael. Because we have, when you look sharply at the DM42, you find on either side of the keyboard you find 3 slots.
Yeah.
Those were designed in to support overlays. Yeah? So then you may cover the key plate with an overlay sheet and whatever you want
So
to.
is that the intention to use the same?
It's the
physical
intention to
keys
use
that
the same
42
hardware as
has?
far as possible.
But even the same buttons and just use
No,
the overlay?
no.
You will change the
We
button?
will change the buttons and we will change the key plate.
Yeah.
Because we need 2 colors.
I
at
can't
least.
remember whether you had 2 on it to start with or not.
Yeah, here it is. That's the present one. So you have only one, well, almost one color on it.
Yes.
Yeah, but we need 3 of them. Because we need yellow, blue, and this kind of gray. Yeah. But that's still subject to discussion with Michael. That's possible.
Sorry, a little correction, it's only 1 megabyte flash even in the latest.
Okay.
I was surprised to have 2 megabytes. That's being
Yeah.
surprised to see 2 megabytes on microcontrollers.
Oh, but that's
Yeah,
8
it's,
times
not
more
yet.
than in the
No problem.
HP 34S. It's 8 times more.
So a question for Martin, how good's your assembler?
I know assembler. I didn't practice it for a long time.
Even I know assembler from 1979 or something like this.
This is a risk shift, it's not a
System on a
sys
chip
shift.
from
so it's different.
1979.
No, at that time I did it on a PDP 11.
Here is a lot of assembler inside.
Yeah, sure, that's all that you have.
Precisely.
The only thing is to program all that things in assembler. I need
I think a
some
standard technique
years
is
more.
if you're really stuck, the standard technique is to compress bits of the memory and uncompress the bits you're using
Yeah.
at the time, which might map onto your C code or it might not. But
Well,
I
you
think
see,
finish it first and then see.
Yeah.
how you do,
yeah,
and then-
exactly. That's the reason why we started with a simulator, because once we have got all the functions in, we may distribute this simulator to the community, and then you go bug hunting. Yeah? And
Nothing is optimized for now.
Sure.
Yeah. And we hope to bring as much as possible from the PC program to the target system. Yeah.
Mhm.
But for sure it will be a big help to us when all the community hunts bugs. Yeah. So of course we tend to press the same buttons every once in a while. Yeah. So what else can we show? That's a
With
yeah.
integers.
You can convert it into.
I suppose one question you could ask the community is what features the drop if it doesn't fit?
Yeah.
So you said you had infinite arithmetic or an infinite number thing in there. That would be of no interest to me at all.
Yeah, that came from Pauli, the infinite integer.
Can you explain what it is?
It's an integer which supplies sufficient length to display whatever integer you want. It may be as big as you want it. Really infinite. It was meant once to supply or to support fractions by divisions of two infinite integers, but we dropped that because it became too difficult.
Something to do with the precision. So one of the built-in functions
Yeah.
needs an extended integer
Yeah, That-
for its decimal expansion series to get the precision required,
Yeah.
and then it.
but
truncates back
that's
to
user
the-
transparent. You won't see it.
It's invisible to the.
Yeah.
So if that function were taken out, you could lose that thing.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of saving for the loss of one function.
May well be.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, we also supply hexadecimal. We supply the same 15 bases like on the 34S. So anything from binary to hexadecimal.
I know one person who would quite like to see the binary numbers extend into the fractional side. I don't know if you do that, so fractional binary, fractional.
Fractional binary won't be supported. No,
Okay,
just
fine.
plain binary.
Well, you've upset one person in the world, then I'll go and tell him that it'll be annoying.
Fractional integer is not so bad.
Well, we're still open to suggestions, but if you, on the other hand, claim that 1 megabyte might be not enough, we have
Well, and the other
a
thing is some
minor
of the,
problem.
Some of the statistics functions, I don't think anyone does statistics on a calculator anymore. You don't really type in a big table of figures, tell me if I'm wrong, but those are functions that if we dropped, I think safely.
Well,
No.
it depends. You can do good old statistical distribution calculating, or you can do sample statistics. Sample statistics, I agree, might be, but anyway, it's the same amount of work whether you key in the samples here or whether you key in the samples into a PC. You can do it here as well. But you don't have to carry any tables anymore because all the functions are in when you call prop. Yeah, you see all the distributions supported from binomial to hypergeometric. So you need for industrial sampling hypergeometric distribution, and you have all the Poisson. We have Weibull distribution for lifetime calculations here.
Regarding the 1 megabyte, there's also this QSPI chip next to it, and the whole, what is it, 8 megabytes is mapped memory into the CPU. So even in the DM42, there's the QSPI part, which are the lookup tables from the Intel library, and just keep it. Put something there which you don't need that often.
Too often,
and then just use a little bit more power, but adds a lot of memory.
Yeah.
Maybe the system is fully firmware upgradable, is it?
Yes, it is.
Maybe there is a possibility to have a bunch of functions you can select on the PC and say, I want to have this in the calculator, this in the calculator, this in the... I have 1 megabyte, just send it up to the calculator and it's fixed.
The software will be completely open source. So feel free to add whatever. Yes, yeah. So.
And you dropped already the time value of money functions?
No, it's in. When you open financial, it's here, F-shifted 2.
Okay.
TVM.
Yeah, and then you go on to TVM, and so you find whatever you like to. Yeah? But that's the only financial stuff which is in, because I'm not competent for financial.
Can I just suggest, at this point, can you have begin or end ticked as for the one that's currently set in the menu, so that you can just see it? I know I was asking for another feature straight away.
What do we want to see?
So when you do the calculations, you either have begin or end set. So if you had the enunciator in the menu, so if you choose begin, does it show on the screen that begin is now set?
No, sometimes we rely on your short-term memory. Yeah, but
I thought you could just put it in the menu.
Yeah.
On the end of the word.
We even offer you to show less than 4 stack levels, because we did this in deep respect to people who only saw 1 stack level and did all kind of gymnastics in their head. And we are maybe over-optimistic, but we assume human brains didn't deteriorate in the last decades. So you can select whether you want to see 4 stack levels, 3 stack levels, 2 stack levels, 1 stack level.
Where is this option? I can't remember.
It's D stack.
Yes, but where?
It's in mode. Should be in mode. Well, where is it?
Stack size.
No. No, it's not in. Why is it in?
It's implemented, but I can't remember where.
Go to disk. That's the other possibility. Here it's D stack.
If only there was a manual.
What?
I'm only kidding.
Well, for those people eager to change anything, I promised you will have a fully configurable keyboard. That means you may reassign whatever you want to reassign. And you may add extra items to the menus. So whatever function you may program, you may add it to a menu. You may create your own menus as well. Yeah, but that's something I wanted to save for for future talk, because otherwise Christoph will will be very late here. Any more urgent questions?
When it is finished.
Well, okay, that's a problem.
That's a good, very good question.
Yeah. Last time you saw it. It took us 3 years when we had a professional hardware from HP, and we had 3 people devoting their spare time to this project, and who had extra spare time at that time. Right now we have still 3 people, but we are busy with other stuff for our living, and we can't live from this. And so it might take, well, basically it will take as long as software will take to come into the target system. So I guess it would take 2 more years at least. Sorry, but if you want to do, if you want to support us, feel free.
You have
I like my code. I think.
So I want to pre-order.
Yeah, I can't promise you you're number 1 on the list, but
Okay, come back.
yeah. Anything you?
Okay, another feature, the register browser,
Oh, yes.
where we can see all our registers with content. And recall one or the other, the one on the last line.
You just press
press
recall. Yeah?
recall and get this value.
And you can.
I implemented another thing that is not in the manual. If I click store, I see how much memory each variable, each register uses. The local registers.
And you can even see all the flags when you press G flags and status.
Yes. Exit.
And status. Yeah. So you see at a glance, well, almost you need 2 views, yeah? But the set flags are inverted, and the clear flags are just displayed with black and white.
Did you think about graphics, use of graphics?
Graphic is evil. I don't like graphics because it's you open a box of Pandora, yeah? And so maybe there's one special graphic we might need for statistical purposes, but I don't intend to build a graphical calculator, because people tend to play whatever games on graphical calculators, but that should be something for serious number crunching.
And with graphical stuff, you get 10 times as many IDs as people speaking. So,
Or you could offer just a minimum, like just a dot with people doing
Yeah.
what they want with a program and then control the rest of going.
We might support, but that depends on progress. We might support a scatter plot, just a rectangular scatter plot, to support our sample statistics. But so far it isn't planned to do anything more.
But even that, I was thinking about just you give access to dots with function to clear and set, and basically it
Yeah, we've got something like the rgraph and the pixel commands for 42, and we will have a dot which puts something bigger than a pixel,
Okay.
and that's about it.
With that, people can do whatever they want. They have
Yeah.
the function
Yeah.
behind it, so.
Yeah. And we will have a user mode, which
Yes.
will show then, or you can use it for working with your special assignments, but you will need a special overlay then for that. Because what he does right now on the PC won't happen on a hardware.
In 3 years, we'll have an OLED backing
Yeah,
sheet on the behind the keys, won't we? I get what you're saying. Just looking at Michael.
Yeah,
Sure.
you will be able to save your assignments. There will be something like store configuration and recall configuration. So you may save as many configurations as memory will hold, but you have to find them yourself. Yeah. That's another data type configuration.
We have an alpha input mode.
Yeah.
With the Latin letters, the Greek letters.
And even some international letters, a menu of international letters down there with everything every European language wants to have, even up to Kurdistan. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Uppercase, lowercase.
Does it have error messages and
Yes,
if there are
it
error
has
messages
text
only in English?
in English so far. But it depends. If we have enough space, we may have other tables with error languages in error messages in other languages. But
In the case of the messages table, conversion tables and stuff, that's a good thing to put into the serial memory outside. So that means that
Exactly.
you keep the 32-bit memory, the
Yeah.
access to the ROM flash for the code itself.
yeah,
So, and you can instruct, that's the way to save space.
yeah. But that's still time to go.
Yeah. You should not too much delay the port of the program, at least, because you may have architectural surprise if it's not.
Yeah,
So the sooner you do it, maybe
Yeah.
the better it's going to be.
for sure. But we have to start with software at all.
I understand.
Yeah.
Just starting with the 4 bangers, the 4 operation, you need an assembler in order to see.
Not necessarily an assembly, you can do it in C. It's just that you may have surprise when you port that into ARMS, because running on a PC and ARM is different, it's the same type of CPUs. So you may have some issues with, and then if you wait too much longer, then you have a lot, and if you took a path that is compatible for some way, and you spend all the time then going, the correction of this is gonna take you a lot more time, that if you know this early, then you know the limitation, then you code and
In the right
that.
direction from the beginning.
So you have less works after that. Sure that it's take longer, you will have to stop at that point, do the test,
Yeah.
so at that time it's, you have nothing new to show, but it's then what you want to do it.
The real hardware, you will show this text on a different place.
This error message.
Yes.
This is an error message which will never happen later on. Of course, it's due to some.
But you could show this message in the display.
Yes, it will.
Here.
An argument
That is the
exceeds the
real
function.
message. That is
Yeah.
only information for debugging and so on.
Yeah. So the error message would always appear in the top line.
Yeah, or the complete, if it is a long message, you can use the complete display until you quit the message.
I hope
For
people.
now, there are only very short messages.
Yeah.
And
That's,
messages.
that's about 45 characters
Yeah.
per row.
Error codes manual.
Yeah. Else you should look to the manual. Yeah.
Do you plan to add some user interface, I mean for data input, or you just rely on software menus?
That's the USB interface will be supported hardware-wise.
I was thinking more on the to input data into the calculator. If there will be some input comments.
Input, yeah. We supported this even with the 34S, and we won't fall back. Anything else?
And will it
Okay.
be feasible that we can expect or hope for fully functional or beta version of the software next meeting in 2 years?
Well, the PC version I hope will be finished slightly earlier.
Yeah, I hope too.
Earlier is the best, but
Yeah, yeah. I think we can promise this, because. But whether we will already have it on the target hardware, I can't promise.
no, but just to get this to the community so
Yeah.
that we can test and
Yeah,
well, be happy with the software and wait for
Yeah.
the hardware to come.
yeah. That we can promise. Yeah, and you will even get the same thing in portrait layout. It's
Yeah, it works in portrait layout, but the resolution of my screen here is too
low.
too small, too low
Yeah. Okay.
to
But
represent.
what is the difficulty to get it to the target? Normally, you have a different compiler, cross-compiling, get an X file.
So
And-
sorry.
Last question is okay.
Okay.
How difficult is it to get to the target? I think you can answer that already.
Well, we'll need to see. I was thinking of this right now too, and I would suggest that we look at it together with David and that he just give it a try to compile it with his toolchain or with the toolchain and see what happens.
But it's only a technical question, not a commercial question.
Of what?
Yeah, no, the question to get it to the target is only technical, and now it has nothing to do with company issues. And
No,
okay.
it's like
No,
my.
of course, and I mean, of course, it will need some stickers or whatever to run on the DM42, because we haven't printed any new keyboards for it.
Yeah.
Even, well, the
Yeah.
design isn't even ready yet or finished.
But as a former boss of mine used to say, it's only software.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Thanks. Okay.
So what can I show? The font browser. The font we can use on the calculator. Numeric font for the big font and the standard font. For the strings, error messages. So, and for the rest, standard mathematical functions.
So that I didn't mention, the trigonometrics I had to hide behind this key, because I didn't have enough keyboard space, so I think it's easier to have them displayed here, so you can access them with unshifted menu keys, and they will stay there until you exit. So if you need trigonometrics all the time, just leave that menu standing on the screen. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.